The mobile gaming market is the absolute best place to find the worst games ever made. Except maybe for 1 or 2 titles. In today's video I want to take a deeper look at one of these surprisingly great games. So, what type of great mobile games could I be talking about? Is it another city building game? A pay-to-win tower defense game? And what else is there? Candy Crush variations? Idle RPGs? Watching paint dry? Or could it perhaps be...
Yeah, you guessed it, it's Raid Shadow Legends!
No, Dankula. It's titled The Light Games. The Light Games offers over 15 interactive stories written by different authors and made interactive by the developer and lead writer Sam Landstrom. Yes, this game could easily be described as a collection of interactive books. So first off, for anyone who never played an interactive story before, in interactive text-based stories you basically have to make a given choice at the end of each page. The entered choice triggers what happens on the next page. Interactive books often come with stats you have to keep track of. In the Light Games case, you usually start with a number of different stats. Health, mana and morale are the more common ones. Your health is always pretty self-explanatory. If it drops to 0, you lose, and you have to redo your last choice, the last checkpoint, or start all over again. Mana and morale often let you make special choices in these series. And of course, if you don't have enough of it, you can't make the choice available. Throughout the books you will see that these stats are very well balanced, and it gives room for replayability, or rereadability I guess. Sometimes there's a bit more to these than what you expect. The Light Games has interactive books that I like to call light interactive stories. This means that choices that you make are partially illusions on the bigger scale. The outcome of one chapter won't change what happens in the next chapter. This might sound like it's against its purpose, but no, not with stories that are as lengthy as these are. The chapters of these books truly feel like chapters of a medium-sized book. While I personally always liked interactive stories, very few of them can be considered lengthy epic adventure books. And with The Light Games you'll be reading for a very long time and most likely get really involved with most of its universe. I want to focus mostly on the ones made by the lead author Sam Landstrom in this video, without giving any spoilers. The reason why I want to focus on this series is because I got really involved in these and I really hope some of you try this out as well. Rarely do I enjoy a series of books as much as this one. The interactive stories made by Sam Landstrom are the first 4 books you find in the library. These books are set in a medieval fantasy world where you follow the journey of a different protagonist with each book. These 4 books are all interwoven with each other at different points in the stories. One can tell the author, Sam Landstrom, takes inspiration out of a variety of existing fantasy universes. You can see a bit of Tolkien here, and a lot of Dungeons and Dragons here as well. But one can also see some European mythology and subjects of the occult mixed into it. At the start of each chapter is a brief description on what themes the current chapter will have in store for you. The series of books has a very dark feel to it, but it never becomes over-the-top edgy for no reason. The series also has its lighter moments that make for a good laugh, especially in some of the Rogue's Choice stories. Not everything you find there is death and decay. But all by all, I wouldn't recommend the series by Sam Landstrom to a very young audience. But hey, if you have kids, you want to tell a bedtime story, The Light Games has books for them too. The books in The Light Games are written from a second person's perspective, meaning it reads as if you were the person in that book. It's a somewhat uncommon way of writing, but I find that it makes me feel more connected to the main characters. It really gives you the idea that you are that character in that moment. What this also means is that you always see things from the protagonist's perspective. The stories won't change to someone or somewhere else when it could be convenient. It's always in the here and now, following the main characters. It's a very immersive and clever way of writing interactive stories. In the series in question, in the first 4 books that you see in the app, this is another layer of interest. Since you follow a different protagonist with each story, you sometimes get another perspective in the same situation. Another thing I like about these books is that it's well paced. It's hard to describe, but the writing is done very smoothly and keeps you hooked. It's a very easy and relaxing read. None of this shit. But Saruman had slowly shaped to its shifting purposes, and made better, as he thought, being deceived. For all those arts and subtle devices, for which he forsook his former wisdom, and which fondly he imagined were his own, came but from Mordor. So what he made was not, only a little copy, a child's model or a slave's flattery, of that vast fortress, armory, prison, furnace of great power. Barad-dûr, the Dark Tower, which suffered no rival, and laughed at flattery, biding its time, secure in its pride and its immeasurable strength. Okay, that's an extreme example, and no disrespect to Tolkien, but hot damn, 96 words and 15 commas in one sentence. It takes me like 3 reads to actually understand that wall of text. Now there are a lot of good things to say about The Light Games, and The stories itself really speak to me, but like I said, I don't want to get into the spoiler territory. And besides praising the game, which I already did, there are a few things to be aware of if this got your attention and you want to try this out. Delight Games is free to play, like pretty much everything on the Play Store. However, you need coins to unlock chapters. You get these coins daily, and you get them from achievements. You get achievements for certain choices you make in these books. There is also a coin reward for watching advertisements. Admittedly, this is not the best way if you read a lot and burn through the chapters. With this many books out nowadays, you probably can't read all of it in one breath without paying for extra coins. However, it doesn't feel too asinine like most prices for mobile games. Delight Games even has a premium feature for $30 to unlock everything. And I really mean everything. This means all books, including the premium ones, which are even bigger than the ones I'm focusing on in this video. There will be no more advertisement, and you get the earliest access to all the new releases. I do get that $30 is pretty steep to give it a try for most people, but do think about it. You get multiple books with much more content than any large book. And if you compare it with actual games, it's definitely not the most pricey thing. Especially compared to the absurd places you pay for any mobile games, which still don't give you much after spending big money on it. If this got you interested, you should at least be able to try the first 2 or 3 chapters from Wizard Choice in quick succession. I think you can tell by then if you are gonna like these books or not. If you're not really sure at that point, I promise the stories and writing do get way better from there on. You really do need to start with the first book you see called Wizard's Choice. The Rogue's Choice and Demon's Choice books follow up on the events of that story. If you don't follow that, a lot of Wizard Choice will get spoiled and ruined. And remember that these books are all interwoven with each other. The first chapters of Wizard Choice, especially the very first one, feels more like an introduction to the series and sort of a tryout for the author. After being a fan of these books for so long, I dare to say the author himself did not expect this to eventually be a 4 books long story spanning multiple characters. But someone correct me if I'm wrong. There have been some minor changes in earlier chapters by now, but the quality of the earlier chapters still feel different than later chapters and books to me. As example, there are a few parts where the author breaks the fourth wall in earlier chapters, and you can also tell the pages and chapters are shorter in the earlier ones. These first chapters can even feel a little bit too fast-paced, making it look a little less professional compared to the rest of his works. Actually, saying this almost feels like I'm nitpicking, but what I'm trying to tell is that Sam Landstrom got way better and arguably more passionate at what he does best. I think at this point the stories made by Sam Landstrom have become addicting enough that the whole interacting aspect of these books doesn't matter as much as they used to do. I'm pretty sure loyal readers are in it mostly for the story at this point. And well, it's almost like the author recognizes this too. Choices in later chapters of Rogue's Choice seem a somewhat rarer occurrence compared to his earlier works with Wizard Choice. The pages are also much longer in these newer books. I don't necessarily disapprove of this. I like where the series are at this point. The newer chapters are mostly story, but still with enough choices to keep your head there. The different choices that you can make also make for a more fun reread. Now, I really wanted to share my thoughts on this mobile game. Of course, for me it helps that I really like the settings of these books. But I think most of the people who watch my content do like these themes as well. I really wanted to talk about Delight Games for a while, and I think at this point, with so many books to choose from and most of the books having reached their conclusion, there is no better time to join in. I even asked the author last year if it wouldn't be an idea to turn this whole thing into an actual book, and he responded that he had been thinking about it, but still has some loose ends to solve. This, of course, meaning writing the last chapters to conclude the stories. I personally think that would be great to get the best of both, an interactive book on the App Store and an actual book to reach a different audience. Now, I've been hooked on this app for 4 years, and seeing the development from just a chapter in Wizard Choice and a couple of other unfinished books to what we have now is just great. The stories have been getting better, the writing has been improved, even the gameplay has been made less cuntish. And right now there is no better time to join, because the major stories by Sam Landstrom have all reached their conclusion. I didn't discuss the other books made by other authors, but I do find that these are really worth your time too. I especially liked Detective's Choice, Zombie High and The Witch Saga. Most of what I already told can be applied to these two. Especially Detective's Choice deserves a special mention, because the choices you make during some of these parts do change quite a bit of the story in the same chapter. It really stood out compared to the other ones in its interactiveness and the different paths one can take. The premium books are great too, however, not all of them have been made fully interactive yet. The premium books are already existing stories made by other authors. In the light games, they are made interactive by the developer and lead author of this wonderful app, Sam Landstrom. The community that reads these books is also very passionate about all this. Sam Landstrom always listens to the people who reads these, and any contradictions that one could spot in the past in between books have been adjusted with the help of the community. Although the community might be small, but it's a nice helpful bunch. I hope I convinced some people to give this a try, and if you do, let me know what you think of it. Of course, a like or subscribe here is also immensely appreciated. Keep safe everyone, and I see you all at the next book club.